Alright everyone, to celebrate 80k subscribers, we're going to be doing $1 versus $1,000 Jurassic Park 3 creatures. Now this only includes the new creatures that were added into Jurassic Park 3 that weren't in movies before. So Pteranodon was in the Lost World, that doesn't count. Same with T-Rex, Velociraptor, Brachiosaurus being in Jurassic Park 1. But starting off, we have $1 Ceratosaurus. You can get this in the 15 multi-pack of Rebirth things, which is like, I don't know, it's pretty cheap. So you know, if you divide it by like however much you pay for and how much is in the pack, it's about $1. But this one, because it's not in a multi-pack, it's about a $2 Ceratosaurus. It can be found in the mini blind boxes though, so it will come in a pair, but you're roughly spending like $5 a box, so it's roughly $2 to $2.50 considering you get two creatures in there. But moving on, we have the $5 Ceratosaurus. So this is a pretty cool one. You got this back in a bundle pack from Camp Cretaceous. So it's a pretty old one. That's why I'm bumping up the price a bit because of the rarity. And also it is a much bigger Ceratosaurus compared to the other ones, as you can see. So that's pretty cool. And then of course we have the brand new Captives one, the $7 Ceratosaurus. I really love this one. So much detail on such a tiny figure. Gotta love the Captive stuff. And then I'm gonna include Pro C stuff, you know. Can't have an 80k special video without some Pro Ceratosauruses in it. So this is a $10 Pro Ceratosaurus. It would be higher value, but they re-released it for the Rebirth line, so it's pretty common at the moment. And then moving on, Ceratosaurus at $15. This is the uncaged one that I think uncaged stuff got cancelled, but it's cool I got to pick it up while it lasted. It's an odd looking figure, but still fun. So yeah, about 15 I reckon, considering they won't sell it anymore. Then we have this one. If we look up, it is the $20 Pro Ceratosaurus, actually. So very cool. I had to get this one from overseas. I was like, I can't miss out on a gigantic Pro Ceratosaurus. Am I right? Because just look at that size. It is so cool. Big green Pro Ceratosaurus. I think our first green Pro Ceratosaurus. I was like, yeah, I have to get that to match with my green Ceratosauruses. So obviously you can see this is the 30, wait no, is it the $30? About, I don't know, $25 Ceratosaurus. The other one was like $20. This one's $25 because it's a wild raw. I think that's roughly what the prices are for wild raws. But yeah, it makes sounds. And I love it. It's got, you know, it's just so beautiful looking. It's not highly articulated like the Hammond collection, but I still think it's such an awesome figure. And then of course we have this one. I'd say it's a bit rarer considering it came out during the Camp Cretaceous line back in 2021. So I'll price it at about $30 because, you know, I don't know if anyone's really after it considering we just got that brand new awesome looking green Ceratosaurus. And then moving on to $50 Ceratosaurus. This is a rare one from Hasbro. I'm sure some people probably have it. I'd say, you know, even with the nuts and bolts that are clearly visible, it's still quite a nice looking figure, and I had to get it. It was one of my first Ceratosaurus figures, so yeah, just had to. And speaking of first, this was my first Pro Ceratosaurus figure back from 2019, so 6 years old, and it's about $250 because it was only ever released in Australia and the UK, I think, so no Americans could get a hold of it. And yeah, obviously I live in Australia. I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, a Pro C toy, I just have to get it. And I did, and then it became, you know, the logo of my channel. So it's, the lore is crazy, guys. But then, jumping from $250 up to $500, we have the Hammond Collection Ceratosaurus. So this one is out of box. I guess it kind of lowers the value, but I have something special. I actually, because it's my favorite, I had to buy one out of box and keep one in box. And that was the best decision ever because it's like the rarest Hammond collection now. So this, I'm going to price it at like $1,000, you know, $1,000 Ceratosaurus versus $500 Ceratosaurus. I'm so happy I got two Hammond collection Ceratosauruses. I couldn't have predicted the future that would be this rare, but I'm glad that I got two because it was so worth it. But yeah, that's the Ceratosaurus line. Let's move on to Spinosaurus. And yes, I'm going to put in Rebirth stuff because, you know, Spinosaurus, even though it's not the JP3 one, Spinosaurus, the species, was still first introduced in JP3. So yeah, but this is the $1 one. Let me show you this. This, I'm going to say, is the $2 one because it's rarer. This Spinosaurus is found in 2 different packs, the 15 pack and the Advent Calendar, whereas this is only found in the 15 pack. So I'm going to say this is $1, this is $2. And then moving on, got a bit of a rarer Spinosaurus, the $5 mini Spinosaurus that you have to buy on its own. So yes, it is like $5, the actual price. And then we'll jump up to the $7 Spinosaurus from Captives, the JP3 one. Although I think it's Camp Cretaceous because it released in like the Dominion line or something, and that's when, you know, Camp Cretaceous season 4 and 5 was coming out. Then we have the $8 Imaginext Rebirth Spinosaurus. I think it's super cute. And then let's move on now to the $10 Spinosaurus. This is the Main Street Spinosaurus, but with the JP3 guy there. But yeah, it's that skeleton clearly. We do have it out of box, a bigger one, which is a higher price point, so we will get to that, do not worry. But moving on, we do have the $15 Spinosaurus. Absolutely love this guy. So much detail in it with this Rebirth Spino. And then moving on to one of my favorites because it's exclusive to Australia, the 12-inch Spinosaurus. And I know some people do have 12-inch Spinosaurus elsewhere. It's about $16 here in Australia. But this pattern on the back and the much lighter grey, it's only available in Australia. You can only get the tail thrasher color pattern elsewhere. So I'm very fortunate to have that. Then moving on, we have the $20 Spinosaurus. This one, it's not too rare, but, you know, some years have passed, so these would be the same price, but I'm deciding to up this one's price just because it's older now, so it would make it a bit rarer at $20. And then moving on, $25 Hasbro, Brawlosaur Spinosaurus. Very old, quite rare figure, I would say, but you can still get pretty cheap on eBay, about 25 bucks. So that's where it's at. And then I did say I had one of the skeletons out of the box. This is much bigger though than the other one. This is like a mini version of this. So obviously, you know, it's bigger, has to be worth more. About $30, I think I paid for it. And then doubling that price, we're moving on to a $60 Spinosaurus. I only have one of this variant. Actually, I have one of most of them, except for the tail thrasher pattern. Obviously, this is, you know, first Spinosaurus, this one. This is the second Spinosaurus. This is the third one. And that mini is the fourth one. You can tell by the colors being different. But, yeah, really love this one. Just an articulated one, so you can use it in water and everything. No sound or anything. And I really love that about it. But moving on, we're going to 1.5 times the price. This one is $90 for me, and remember, I am using Australian currency, so if you're like, no, it's not that expensive, it is for me, guys. Unfortunately, it is in Australia. I spent about 90 bucks on this guy when I first got it. And then, an awesome one, the Camp Cretaceous Spinosaurus. This one came out in about 2020, so it's a bit rarer now. About $150, I would say. Unfortunately, I don't have the Hammond Collection Spinosaurus yet, but I do plan on getting it soon, definitely. But that means we're going to have to skip over to the Lego Spinosaurus. Otherwise, the Hammond Collection one would be about $100, I reckon. So yeah, really love that Lego's finally done a Spinosaurus. I hope next year with the JP3 25th anniversary, they make a Lego Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus. That would be so awesome. But yeah, the set's about $200. So that's about how much it is worth it, I suppose. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one, but it's probably like a $250 Spinosaurus. Oh no, I just completely made up that price, in all honesty. But yeah, it's got a few action features like that. Love it. It's from 2015, so 10-year-old product. Crazy. And then, moving on to some smaller ones. This is my $500 Spinosaurus squad. We've got 2 fluffy ones, which are limited edition. Gold one, which is just incredibly rare. I think you can only find the metallic ones in Australia, so it makes them that much rarer. And Spinosaurus, I think, is the rarest of the metallics as well, because I opened some eggs. I got 4 silver D-Rexes and only 1 gold Spino, so I don't know, I think there's minimal amounts of them. And then we have the green Spinosaurus. I didn't put this in my short originally, but it's here now because I didn't want a JP3 ones in my short, but I'll make a JP3 one tonight that will release just after this video. But yeah, I'm gonna price them at $500 because they're limited edition, and all up together, I reckon, you know, we could individually, could be like 200, 150, I don't know. And then this guy, just add him in for the fun of it. And then moving on, we are going to our next species, Corythosaurus. There's not many of this, so I can't make a short about this, but this would be $7 Corythosaurus from Captives line from the Jurassic Park 30th wave in Wave 2. And then our other Corythosaurus figure. These are our only two. I think there's a Brawlosaur, but I didn't get that. And it's, you know, not as beautiful as these guys, I'd say. But yes, this is about $200 to $250 because it's a Hammond collection, so really rare now. Really pushing on that mark. But it is so awesome, and I'm glad I got it when I did, because who wouldn't want, you know, to try and collect most of the movie creatures in their collection. I think that's awesome. But now, onto our last species, the Ankylosaurus. First appeared in Jurassic Park 3. I'm only going to do adult Ankylosauruses, because if I was here showing off my baby Bumby collection, would be here for another hour, I'd reckon, and we don't want to do that. So, $1 Ankylosaurus, you can get it in the 15 pack for Rebirth, so pretty cheap. But then there was this one, which you could buy on its own back from the Fallen Kingdom days. That's why it's much bigger, if you have a look at them. So yeah, you could buy this one on its own for like $5. And then if we move on, this is the Rebirth Spinosaurus. We'll get to the JP3 one soon, don't you worry. But yeah, another adult. I really love this one. Just the simple plain colors just work really well for me. But yeah, about $6 I'm gonna price it at, because roughly they're about $7. And because this is the most recent one, it's the easiest to get, I'd say. But the previous one was adult Bumpy. So that's $7, and that's roughly what they are, I would say. So, you know, but then the rarest one was the one that came out during the Dominion and Jurassic Park 30th wave. So I would say, you know, about $8. It's not the best looking figure. They definitely upgraded their mold, so it was tough. It was like, do I make this the rarest one, really? Because I don't really think many people are after it. But it's still fun to have, the JP3 one. Hopefully they remake it with, like, this mold eventually. But yes, now moving on to our $25 Ankylosaurus. This is the Brawlosaur Ankylosaurus you can get in an Indominus Rex versus Ankylosaurus 2-pack. I saw it on eBay for about $25, so that is what I'm going to price it at. And then moving on, of course we are including adult Bumpy. We did just do the Captives one, but not baby Bumpy. I don't want to get into all those babies. But yes, this is about $75. They've only made one Mattel adult Bumpy figure. Closest we've gotten since was the Captives one, so I'm glad I have both. But yeah, it's pretty rare because it was only released during the Camp Cretaceous line. And obviously Bumpy came back again in Chaos Theory, so people were like, where's our figure? And they weren't meant to make a Bumpy figure, but it got cancelled for Pteranodon, I believe. I'm not sure why. Maybe they wanted to keep it rare or something. I'm not too sure. But I'm glad I got it when I did, because the price is just skyrocketing. But now moving on, $500 Ankylosaurus. You can only get this in the Indominus Rex versus Ankylosaurus Lego set. So of course, you know, we've got all the Ankylosauruses. We've got the Rebirth one, the Jurassic World era one, the Bumpy one, and the JP3 one. But of course, we have to get onto our final Ankylosaurus before we finish off this video. A very rare one. Of course, JP3 Ankylosaurus. I have to end it with JP3 because that's what we're doing, right? So here we go. Got these guys. We'll put them all together. The Mattel Jurassic Park 3 creatures. And you know what? It's pretty big, but we'll get the Spinosaurus in there. It is the Camp Cretaceous one, but I promise you guys, when the Hammond Collection Spinosaurus comes out in my country, I will grab it as soon as I can. So, these are the 4 creatures that were, you know, in Jurassic Park 3. They were new to the franchise at the time. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to watch up here for more. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye, everyone.